Hello, Shipyard community. If you've been following on the data space in 2023, you probably realize there's one animal that's been taking over the data world by storm. Whether you've watched Illumination's new movie Migration, maybe you're like my dog and he really likes his duck toy. Ducks have been taking over the data space in 2023, and that's continuing on into 2024. And we're happy to announce that today you can use DuckDB inside of Shipyard, and I'm going to show you one of those use cases today. So without further ado, let's dive in. So the use case we're going to show off using DuckDB and Shipyard is we're going to take a CSV from Google Drive and we're going to insert that as a table into our DuckDB database. So you can see the stuff already exists inside of Google Drive for us. So there's our database that I've spun up the demo database, and there's that CSV. That if you're familiar with our tutorials at Shipyard, I've been using the Slinky Dog Dash ride data from Disney World for a long time. We're continuing on it in 2024. So jumping into Shipyard here. So the first thing I'm going to do is actually download those two things from Google Drive. So I'm going to download those. So download files to Shipyard. So the Google Drive folder name is DuckDB. The file name, let's see. So we're going to have Slinky Dog Dash there. The Shipyard folder name, nothing. We don't want to change the name, not a shared file. And then we need to put our Google Drive service account JSON in there, which of course is saved using our credential management system inside of Shipyard. So that's perfect there. So that's the first one, and then we need to bring in that database as well. So download files to Shipyard. So again, DuckDB, the file name is demo.db. And again, we need to throw in that Google Drive service account. Perfect. Okay, so that's going to download those two files and put them inside of Shipyard. So Shipyard uses an ephemeral file storage system. So that's the cool thing about that is we can download that database, that DuckDB database. We can do whatever we want to with it, upload it back to Google Drive, and it's going to get deleted from Shipyard afterwards, which is pretty neat. So now that that database and the CSV is downloaded, we're actually going to create a Python vessel that's going to connect to both of those. So if they're both finished successfully, run onto that Python script. So we're going to do CSV to table.py here. And let's see. So we need to import DuckDB. I'm cheating. I do have some code written on the other side that I've tested. So duckdb.connect, and that's going to connect to our demo.db. So perfect there. And then we're going to do some SQL here to insert that as a table. So I'm going to cheat a little bit here. I know, I'm the worst. So I'm going to cheat a little bit here just so you don't have to see me write out a full SQL statement, because no one has ever wanted to do that. So I've ran this one before. Make sure I have a start of a string there. We're not doing Shipyard integrations. We're doing Slinky Dog Dash. Perfect there. We're going to put auto detect to true because I don't want to name that. I don't want to actually define the schema there. It's going to do that for us. We're going to do Slinky. I can type Slinky Dog as select all from that table. Perfect. So that's going to create that table for us using that CSV. So that's perfect. Okay. We can actually do we can actually look at the table. It looks a little bit weird inside the UI inside of Shipyard, but I'll take a look at that and show you what that looks like. So Slinky Dog .show. And again, at this point, you could also do some transformations on that table if you wanted to as well. So I think that's where we'll get some advanced use cases inside of DuckDB inside of Shipyards. When you start doing those transformations, it kind of gives you another option from using DBT or using just base Python transformations, which I think is pretty cool. And then last but not least, we want to do a con.close here. It's going to close that connection. It does that automatically for us, but that's just good coding practice to do that. So then last but not least, we're going to need to upload that database back into Google Drive. So we're going to do that. Upload files from Shipyard. Perfect. Shipyard file name. So it's demo.db. No. Shipyard Drive folder name is DuckDB. So we're going to rename this thing just so it'll be a little bit different. So demo finished.db. Just so it would be something different. It would override it, but just so it's going to show off something a little bit different there. Put those credentials in. Well, the only thing I forgot to do is install DuckDB. That would have been sad. So under Python packages, we do need to install DuckDB. So that's the only package we got to install, which is pretty cool there. So I'm going to hit save and finish. It's going to tell us that the fleet's been created successfully. I can go ahead and click run your fleet, which is going to go ahead and schedule this fleet to run automatically for us. We're going to jump right into the logs. You can see we're already downloading that file into Shipyard from Google Drive, that first one, which is pretty cool. So while this thing is running, we can talk a little bit about what you're seeing here. So this kind of gives you a live play-by-play of what's happening with this fleet run. Obviously, if it's that yellowish orange color, that means that something's currently running. Once it turns green, that means that it's finished successfully, which you can see here. And you can actually click into these as well, and it's actually going to show you all those inputs that we had earlier. So there's our folder name, file name, so on and so forth. It blocks out the credentials. So once you put those credentials in there, someone can't come to your logs and steal your Google Service account JSON, which is obviously pretty great. Then you can see we have some success messages, successfully downloaded files from Google Drive. Pretty good. That's what we want there. Backing up. So while we're waiting on the second vessel to run, we can talk about what we see up here on the top. You can see we have triggers up here. That's actually how you would schedule this thing to run. So if you had something that you wanted to run on a normal basis inside of DuckDB, inside of Shipyard, you could set that thing up to run on a daily, weekly, monthly basis there, which is obviously good. That's what you need for an orchestration tool. And then, of course, we have version control up there as well. So you can actually connect your code scripts into GitHub and actually download those code scripts at runtime every time, which is the best practice if you're using Python scripts. But the version control also, every time you click save inside of Shipyard, it also backs up how you're building your fleet, which is obviously great. I think Shipyard is a great tool for experimentation. If things go wrong, it's obviously pretty easy to figure out what's going on, because you can always revert back and always look, compare changes and things like that. So okay, we can see now that our fleet is finished running. So we downloaded both the files from Google Drive, executed that Python script to create that table with the CSV, and then uploaded it back into Google Drive. So we can kind of take a look at this and see what's going on. So you can see it doesn't look great inside the logs here, that CSV, but you can see we have a date column, a date time column. This is the actual wait time in minutes, and then the posted wait time in minutes. And so you can see the data types that it has set. So date, timestamp, integer, and then integer, which you can see matches up pretty well. You can see the data coming in here. You can see Slinky Dog had a 270 minute wait on, what is that, June 30th of 2018. So seems pretty right. So that table got uploaded inside of our DuckDB database. So that worked out pretty well for us. So now if I go back into Google Drive and then reload this page, you can see there's our demo finish.db uploaded a minute ago. So in this video, we showed you how you can use DuckDB inside of Shipyard, but more specifically, how you can take a CSV and actually put that inside of your DuckDB database inside of Shipyard.